Hi, this is Chuck with ABR Industries. This week we're going to do a comparison feature between our two most popular microminature cables. The first thing we're going to focus on with these small diameter cables is what are the most popular or most common ones that we sell, which I'll give you a hint is the ABR174 and 316. What are the advantages these cables provide, whether it's between weight, flexibility, power, or using it within door jambs or other applications? What are some of the disadvantages? The insertion loss is usually a big one for most people after 30-35 feet with these cables. Also, other areas these cables are most commonly used, and also looking at a few alternatives for a next step up within regards to performance of RF, power loss, or other applications such as more permanent placement. So focusing on the two most common types that we sell is the ABR174 and 316. They're both microminiature, which means they are less than a quarter of an inch. They're actually at 0.110 inch OD. They come in two different styles. The 174 is a PVC type of product, which has a 66% velocity, compared to the PTFE version of the 316 at 69%. Both of them have a decent strand count center conductor at 7 strands. The 174 is a copper-based product with a low oxygen copper for increasing performance. And the 316, which is a little bit better conductor, is the silver center. And then both of them have a 95% braid to prevent any leakage of RF. So what's the benefit of each cable? I'll just go through each one separately. The 174 is extremely flexible with a minimal memory, meaning you could roll it up and put it into your pocket, carry it around, and twist it. It's lightweight, it's less than 12 ounces per 100 feet, and for the insertion loss, it's just over 1 dB for HF region, which is just not generally very reasonable. In comparison, the 316 handles higher powered HF. Roughly 300 watts is what we recommend due to the connector types that are most common or popular for this BNC, PL, so on and so forth, but it can actually handle up to 1 kW with end connectors. It is resistant to crushing. It is also a reasonable insertion loss at 35 feet for the HF side, just being slightly over 1 dB. So what happens to the disadvantages? There are just a few. The 174 has a lower retention force and abrasion resistance because it's a PVC product. It can get scarred and marred. But there is a solution to this. I'll talk a little bit later. Also, it has a lower power limit capability. It's limited to about 100 watts at the HF region, and the reason being is just due to its size. Also, because the insertion loss is as high as it is at 1 dB over 35 feet, usually we recommend looking to other cables to improve performance from there. In comparison, the 316's disadvantages come in. One is the high memory. Because it's a PTFE product, bending and twisting, the product is okay, but it does form a memory and wants to relax back to a normal shape. It's limited length due to insertion loss, and it is a higher price cable in comparison to some of the PVC products. Although be it larger and have better performance, the increased cost generally comes from the silver and the PTFE in the product itself. So where should I use these cables? Well, obviously they're used in cabinets and enclosures in small space areas, portable operations where weight is a factor, applications where the cable will run inside seams, door jambs, and windows, and jumpers between transceivers and other devices, especially using with portable operations. What other areas should I consider if this product doesn't make sense? Well, one is looking at insertion loss. 1 dB doesn't sound like a lot, but for 5-watt applications, it could be a little bit too much. Also in areas where increasing power capability comes into the factor of an amplifier or other areas where you need to increase performance. You can go to the next size cable, which is what's known as the 195 area, OD, which is 58 an ABR195, which is a solid, but we do have an ultraflex version as well, and these are about half the insertion loss in comparison. So you're looking at about 0.4 of a dB at 35 feet for these cables. So that's a big improvement. The connector options themselves, Ns, PLs, BNCs, they're all pretty much common throughout, but there are sometimes a few other items that you might need. So please take a look at our cable builders. It will show you all the various options you can make. One thing though to comment on is that even though the 174 that I mentioned earlier has an abrasion resistance issue, using the color cable sheath will actually protect the product from abrasion because the material with the P-Tex that's used. So there is an easy solution if the 174 seems like a right product for you. And once again at ABR Industries, how do we differentiate ourselves? We do build all of our cables in the US. We also make all of our raw materials except for the connectors here in the United States. All of the products that we have come from ESD soldered workstations, pneumatic crimp machines. We use a lot of tooling to make the best quality products that we can offer. All of our cables are high-pot tested in continuity. We can do RF testing with a TDR and mechanical testing. Our people have an average of over 16 years in the cable assembly business, and we do extensive reviews of all of our raw material vendors, checks and balances, and we consistently try to improve upon ourselves. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at abrind.com or call us at 713-492-2722. Thank you.